Hey guys, what's up? How ya doing? I'm here to talk to you guys about Shingeki no Kyojin's new episode, which is on the final season, which is on episode 9, or freaking the total number of episodes, episode 84. Anyways, this episode right here was actually really nice, and this was my most favorite one that I've been looking forward to for a long time. Anyone who's a manga reader would know what I'm talking about, and if anything else, let's just get this started. The episode opens up, well, it has no opening, which means something really went down, you know? We have to it that John was actually imagining or daydreaming about his time, about having to, go into the nice big estate with the wife in hand, the kids and grandkids, because he deserved it, you know? And then we had to it, Hanji was knocking on the window and telling John, hey, come on, I need to talk to you, okay? I'll meet you outside, you know? And we had to it, John really doesn't want to go. I mean, it is on his face. He's always like, let me just sit here. Let me just forget about it. It's over. It's done, you know? Because John here, I could see him like he's really bummed out or stressed out. He doesn't want to do this anymore, you know? It's done, he believes. Or as he was told. But we have to it, Hanji, on the other hand, has Mikasa present as well. And they end up talking about the situation. We have to it, Hanji says, we're gonna stop Eren from committing genocide. Although Mikasa agrees right away because she does not want Eren to kill anyone else, you know? And John, on the other hand, says, you understand Eren is doing this for us, right? Even if we were to stop him, and even if we do, in the future or many years to come, this island will soon be targeted and be destroyed. Everything that Eren's doing is all for us. But Hanji says again that genocide is wrong though. And I can understand where she's coming from. Anyone who's going to commit the act of genocide, obviously you're not going to agree with that idea, even if it's to protect your own people or protect the people you love, or to maybe start all over, whatever the case may be, etc. Whatever your reasons are, genocide is just wrong, no matter how justified you are in this state of mind or in this world, you know? And we have to eventually, like I said, they talked it out, and John, on the other hand, decides to go along because he knows Marco's watching over him, you know? And Hanji talks about her fallen comrades, how they're watching over them right now and figure out what to do next, you know? And I can understand, where Jean doesn't want to do this because Eren's protecting us, but in the end he decides to go with it, etc. Eventually we get to see a scene where Marley and Eldian enemies will later on sit by a fire and talk with each other. The Marleyan general ends up having to say, hey, isn't this kind of awkward to see us enemies walk to eat together at a fire in a stew, huh? Don't you find that pretty concerning? We have to it that the general ends up asking Mikasa and the others, isn't this what you guys wanted? If you guys stop him, you won't get what you want. I mean, we were working so hard to make sure Zeke and Eren does not connect or meet, and guess what happened? You allowed this rumbling to happen, and now you're going to destroy the entire world. I mean, it'll be a nice paradise for you on this island, right? Especially you kill all your enemies, they don't go after you. Isn't that what you want? What you wish for, huh? And John, on the other hand, gets really angry about this, and Hanji's like, hey, none of us really wanted genocide in the first place, alright? Things kind of led up to that point, and it is what it is. And John, on the other hand, gets really angry at Marley for thinking that they wanted this or were devils, and saying, hey, do you not understand what you freaking did to Eren? If he didn't see his mother eaten, or even worse, his family or life was being ruined, you destroying the walls and all that, having Titans come in, that you sent to us to eat us, none of this would have been happening. Don't you think that you started the rumbling in the first place? And the Marleyan general was like, hey, you want to talk about history right now? You do understand that you freaking Eldian race punks butchered us Marleyans and freaking put us into worse agonizing situations than ever before, right? You do understand that? And then we have two that John's like, how long are you going to play victim about something that happened 2,000 years ago? And the Marleyan general's like, nothing, why am I talking to a brat right now? It's like, you don't understand true history against what's happening back then here and there. And Hanji's like, okay, stop it, knock it off. We're not interested in hearing about what happened like 2,000 years ago with this history of Marley and Eldia, you know, that kind of thing. And as the episode continues on in its own way, you know, Hanji tells Jean, look, Jean, the general's kind of freaked out or spooked right now because of how we are. And now that we laid our hands or stayed outside, we actually explored the outside world for a couple of months, we cannot just be ignorant devils no more, you know, that kind of thing, etc., you know. And this is a very tough scene, and I loved it very much because, you know, when it comes to talks, I'll get to that in just a moment. Sorry for being off topic. Continuing on, we have to it. Annie asked Mikasa, Armin, and the others like this. So, let's get to the point. Can you kill Eren? And we have to. They go like, there are other ways how to stop Eren besides killing him. There has to be other options. But Annie's like, yeah, but can you really do it? Because honestly, I know for the fact that the one person I know right now that cares for Eren more than anyone else in this world is you, Mikasa. If the situation comes that even if you talk to him and he says no, are you just going to protect him? So, like, even though, like, if you can't kill him or something? In other words, without complicating things, sorry for being very, like, confusing, Annie asked if they could kill Eren if he can't be talked down. Mikasa says, we don't know unless we try, or Armin says so. But Annie says otherwise, say, if we try to kill Eren, you guys will end up protecting him. How's that supposed to go out? And then we had to, Mikasa's like, oh, so you're gonna willing to kill me, is that what you say? And it looks like Mikasa was about to get into fighting stance and getting ready to go clash against Annie. As for Annie, she was about to ready to injure herself to become a Titan, you know? And it's very dangerous. These guys were about to go ahead. These two girls, we all know that they are heated arc enemies or arc rivals for a long time when the series started, you know? I mean, Mikasa and Annie are both monsters in combat. Well, Mikasa's a monster in strength, you know, and Annie's a monster in technique and fighting moves. But that aside, Annie stopped the tense situation. Says, I understand how you feel. If you could stop Eren by talking, I get it. But I have a reason I want to stop Eren too. And that is to make sure he doesn't kill my father, you know? I don't want that to happen, etc. And we have to it that Annie's like, we don't have to fight until that situation comes to that point right now, you know? And we have to, Mikasa said, whatever, fine, and etc. And we have to it that there's a scene involving Yelena having to be involved, you know, etc. We get to know that Yelena is actually a Marleyan, you know, a natural-born Marleyan, and how Zeke became an idol to her and how to save the world whatsoever. And it becomes very, like, crazy intense in a certain way, I guess, because this is where Yelena does not care about it at all, and that she just sees two enemies, like, trying to team up together to have a justified goal. But does that really get rid of your hate and sense of what you guys did to each other? And Yelena decides to provoke or maybe instigate something involving going down the past, you know, of how Reiner and Annie killed a lot of Survey Corps members, and Reiner having to tell Berto break the wall, you know, etc., and then so forth. Except Paradis, they end up fighting back, you know, that kind of thing. It became very, very tense. I mean, Yelena was, like I said, was trying to instigate a big argument or chaos situation, you know, going down the past memory lane, you know, involving Falco and Gabby having to, like, kill Sasha, or Gabby killing Sasha. Jean, on the other hand, trying to throw a Thunder Spear at Falco for trying to protect Peak whatsoever. You know, all those kinds of evil actions that they did, you know, killing innocent lives, especially Armin, blowing up the Marleyan port and its army and its innocent lives and civilians, you know, that kind of thing. You guys get the cue. I'm pretty sure you guys know what I'm talking about. That's if you read the manga or watched the episode. If you don't, well, you'll be confused as hell. But that aside, John, on the other hand, does not mind the fact of Yelena mentioning about all these, like, sins that to maybe clear their heads about their sins and grudges with each other, you know? And Yelena decides to bring up one more thing, and that involves Marco. And we had to it, Annie and Reiner confessed, but Reiner is the one that says, I gave Annie the order, and, Marco is the one that freaking, listened into Bertolt and I's conversation, And we had to it that, Reiner fearing that Marco might, might rat out their situation and them being spies or the enemy, they end up taking him down, take off his ODM gear or vertical maneuvering gear, and have a Titan eat him, And we all seen that in an OVA or somewhere in season 2 or somewhere in Attack on Titan of the season, involving Marco, how he was taken down and was eaten alive by a Titan. It sucked, and it really sucked. But as for Reiner, we all know what happened to Reiner after he saw Marco getting eaten, And John asked an important question. What did, Marco say to the very end? We still haven't talked this out. And the sad thing about that, well, I'll get to that just a moment at the very end, if anything. And John's like, that's the funny thing, because if we actually talk this out, we wouldn't have to kill or freaking try to slaughter each other. Don't you get it? All this is happening because we have not even bothered to talk this out. That's the sad thing about it. And we had to it that Hanji's like, it's still not too late for us right now. I mean, look what's happening right now. We are sitting in a fire, having stew, and having a conversation. Isn't that a little awkward or weird, or should I say strange that this is happening right now? That kind of thing. And we have to it that eventually that Reiner ends up saying a lot of things about, when I saw Marco getting eaten by a Titan, I grew enraged and I killed that Titan. And John's like, okay, that's enough, dude. I heard enough. There's no more to do this anymore. And then Reiner ends up apologizing in the end. And then John ends up having to beat the living heck out of Reiner so bad that Armin and Connie ends up having to try to stop John from doing so. And John ends up kicking Reiner multiple times. And later on, Gabby ends up protecting Reiner from one last kick. And then Gabby ends up saying, me and everyone else want to kill all you devils just so everyone around the world could forgive us. They could accept us, And look what's happening. We end up having to see that Eren ends up doing the rumbling, and guess what happened here and there, I mean, now my mom and dad's gonna be destroyed, so I'm asking you. I know this is really ridiculous and really pathetic for me to ask you about this, but please help us. Please help us. Please help us stop the rumbling, And it's really sad and devastating because Gabby knows that her asking her enemy for help, despite after what she's done and everyone else, all things considered, is on her knees asking, help us, and, Falco says, please help us. We don't want this, and, and we had to it. John ends up walking off, having to get his mind cleared out, and everything else all considered. The next morning came, and John decides to wake up Gabby and Falco and says, hey, it's time to go, that kind of thing. And we have to it that, oh, man. That John and Reiner and everyone else started to talk with each other. Well, John ends up apologizing for Gabby for kicking her, but John tells Reiner, I'm not going to apologize to you and I can't forgive you. And Reiner's like, that's fine. I have no issue with that. And Annie's like, what about me? I'm like, what the hell? You asking that right now? And then we have to it that Pete ends up showing up in a Cartine form and says, hey, we got some bad news. The Jaegerists just took over the harbor and things are looking very bad right now. They got here way faster than any of us through a steam engine or the train, And the episode ends up with Falco having Kiyomi as hostage and getting ready to go into action, And preview the next episode's gonna hurt like a real demon's spear piercing your body or doing internal damage right now, because that's what I'm gonna say or something. But yeah. Anyways, this episode right here was one of my favorites. I mean, I expected how it went about. When it comes to these talks. Because I'm pretty sure any of you guys, especially myself, went through debates or talks in a classroom or somewhere else in political standby about things being crazy here and there, and then, etc. And, when it comes to talks or debates, it could get very verbally violent, or it could get physically violent. And guess what happened? This episode shows how nasty it can get, that kind of thing, etc. And like I said, it's one of my favorite episodes because when it comes to talking, things could have been solved easily if you could just talk things out if you wanted to. But sadly, however, things just don't go that way when it comes to debates or political arguments, because it could get very violent easily, or that's just how humans are, And the series does a good job showing how violent humans can be and have a lot of dark sides involved, Anyways, looking forward to next episode, and yeah, so until then, people, I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm Alpha Zero. Have a good day. I'll see you guys next time, alright? Peace out. Bye-bye. Ta-da!